me the card and I shall go. But let's please take copies of the CD.
Thank you, Margareta.
Thank you much, babe.
I love you all so much. It's been so wonderful to be able to feel what we felt when we lived in before. And now we're still here and we still feel it. We still feel the same way toward each other. It's just a miracle. And you know, I did forget to say who the next person is.
Go ahead, Margaret, I got it.
Oh, David, thank you.
Are we going to do the champagne group?
It should be there.
Everybody back here?
Toast. Lift your glasses for the grandest lady who I ever knew. She's a sweet one. Those of you who've known Marion for very long could not have failed to meet her constant companion. It was Voodoo, her cat. An aptly named critter, I might add. She only loved Marion Connors. She loved to strike at everyone else. And I don't know anyone who's ever visited Marion and got very close to Voodoo who didn't bleed. It's seriously that way. Another thing peculiar about Marion Kime's poetry over the years, she's never written about her family, or not very much about her family, about her own life. She writes about art. She writes about her reaction to art and other people's lives. But in this collection of poems that she sent me in the mail, it's called 14 Poems. Some of them are about her visit to Kathmandu. The first time she visited her daughter over at her assignment in Nepal. I have to admit that the reality of Marion's death has sort of eluded me. I wrote her a happy birthday and received an email back from her daughter, and then I didn't hear anything else. And finally I heard from Phoebe and Scott, who called one of the boys, and they said, "Oh, Marion died last Monday." And it was like a hammer. So this kind of helps me feel more real about it myself. It was real. It's left an empty spot. I lost a friend, I lost an editor, and I lost a cheerleader. And she was just excellent at all of those things. Here's a poem she wrote about that immortal, deadly animal. Voodoo unfortunately died just several weeks or maybe a month prior to Marion. She lived a long and bloody life. I think she was 20, 22, 23. She lived on blood like a vampire. She was one of the oldest cats I know. Also very tiny, like Marion. Very small and tight, but like a hunk of dynamite. She was explosive. Pardon me, I'm going to blow my nose before it gets away from me, and it may be too late already. But this is one of the few times that Marion actually opened up about her family. I consider that cat probably her closest friend and companion for over 20 years. I don't know who else could have put up with her. I mean the cat. In a world of our own, of course I'm not lonely, I say. The cat claims I live with her. She mentions possible dementias, fantasies of being in command, delusions of callings to poetry, and such like, to coffee, to food. She calls attention to the fact that we both need dentistry, how I go out by day and she in the dark of night, how I rave to heaven when we're home, and presume my excellence when we both know I suffer whiteouts. But for the garden, each day we seem more remote. Alone together, oxygen, and lunch, touch, starved. She's a pesky sort, Miss Voodoo. Counts on me to open and close doors, spread feasts and clean up after, shop and take out the trash. Companions for years now. We can see what's coming and seek avoidance and accommodation. At night we play spin the top. I spin, she stops them. She plays toss and catch with toy mice, honing her skills regularly. She seeks abandon with fresh catnip, mad about hide and seek. She finally allows me to find her slight self. She hates when I cry. I just noticed a typo in this document too. I know, I proved it. Thank you. Thanks, David. Judith.
go down a little. Okay, so we don't know a lot about Marion's childhood, but we do know that she really loved horses, and so I'm thinking she was a Texas cowgirl. I can see her as that. The poem of hers I'm going to read from last year's horse is Recipe. Take horses, add one Russian poet. And the poet is Mayakovsky, and the poem starts with an epigraph from Mayakovsky. But I subdued myself, setting my keel on the throat of my own song. Here comes that song, that call I hear to rally the wild horses. Their blood sizzles with running free and grazing. They have no poisons, beaks or pincers, no sets of sharp teeth that come and go. They own a fine, proud beauty with size, 4 hooves, 1 set of teeth, and for eyes, 2 great orbs, wise and deep. Wild horses balance the curse of ticks and horseflies with a life on high western meadows, wide treeless Mongolian stretches, beach grass on sands that speak French. In mating, their feet drum the earth. That male ritual with females and ponies held close beside and behind them, not to be plundered. Would we could hear Mayakovsky comforting a horse. How many ways would he find for these lines of his? Horses, don't cry. Listen to me, horse. Why do you think you're any worse than they? Horsey dear, we're each a little bit horse. Everyone's a horse in his own way. And our next reader is Don Glover.
I don't know why, but I'm very unstable today, so I'm going to run me down. Huh?
You want my cane?
No, I'm just going to sit down. Anyway, I've known Marion for a long time. I really appreciate it. Haven't known.
Can speak up. Hear you.
One time when I heard what somebody thought death was, they said something like it's going into another room. I just lost it just now. And at one point, Marion took and my brother took Marion, myself, over to eat in Fremont. And now Marion's in another room. She's in this room too. And she doesn't have to set up for the reading. Just one short one here. This is from Skyview, January 1987. She called it winter solstice. That I should need to know my madness has company, banging against those who sing another key, that writers exclude, that I join such a band, sweet democracy, nouns, verbs, gerunds, your arms around us all, swing us free.
Not seeing Michael Hero, I'll call up Greta Harley. No Michael.
Hello. I met Marion about 14 years ago, I think, through Martha Linehan. I was writing music for various poems, and I commissioned Marion and a few other people in this room, actually. And we became friends, and I had a concert about 8 years ago now, and Marion took the bus up to the Good Shepherd Center and the chapel space where the concert was. And about 3 days later, I got an envelope in the mail with Marion's handwriting, and I opened it up, and it was a poem in the typewritten, her font of her typewriter. And it was such an honor because she was inspired by the performance. And about 3 days later, I got another envelope, opened it up, and it was the same poem but edited. And this went on for about 2 weeks. And it made it into this book, so I wanted to share it with you. It's called Composer. Thank you.
Is this the unexpurgated?
I don't think that I really have the authority to read the unedited version. That's just for me, and it's framed. Composer. You groan and leap on some high ledge, sewing notes, keys, and voices together. Who plays what, how, and when, and now? You lead with authority, chiffon ruffles swaying with the beat, a spontaneous ballet. Your magic includes the path, a hushed walk at sunset, choosing to climb old, wide wooden stairs. Blue mountains spread across open windows, and below gardens, groves, lovers, and children blend and fade into dusk, lights, camera, audience. And what I think of is Marion's incredible ability to always be in the present moment and to appreciate everything, all the details. And this was the dress that I was wearing when I was conducting, so I thought I'd wear it. And I'm working on a new piece inspired by Marion, but it's not finished, but I wanted to, if you
Unedited.
I'm sorry? It's unedited! I would like to share something with you, though. It's a newer piece, too, and it's the piece that I did at the Good Shepherd Center was based on Metamorphosis, Ovid's Metamorphosis, Tom Hughes' adaptation. And so this piece is in memory of Marion, and also in the creative, honoring the creative process and letting go, and it's called Nightingale. I'm not going to use a mic. I don't think I need it.
I'll give my gift for it.
No, I don't think so.
Sure?
Yeah.
I'll turn it out now.
I think it's going to sound weird.
Okay.
Okay. I miss Marion a lot. Martha Linehan.
I'm so happy this is happening. This is important.
Turn the microphone.
Thanks. Things I would do with you. For Marion. Pop in, talk to voodoo, read you poems, read your poems, talk poems and poets with you. Deborah Diggs, Ann Carson, Sharon Olds. Pretend to watch tennis with you. Watch the horses with you. Follow you around. Turn the sound down on your TV. Bask in your undivided attention. Offer you mine. Memorize every inch of your place. Memorize your face. Study your hands, your rings. Ask about your childhood, about your marriage. Imagine you in Texas, San Francisco, as a young woman. Never forget how when my mother died, you kept repeating, "I can't believe it." Not Janet, "I can't believe it." Drink wine, eat cheese, walnut bread, and black olives with you. Talk about Louise, visit your garden. Walk around the neighborhood looking at random yards and gardens with you. Drive around the neighborhood to look at Hollywood, to look at Halloween decorations, and then at Christmas lights year after year with you. Leave voicemails. Just show up. Read you poems. Pay attention to the art you admired at the museum. Follow you around. Just show up. Read your poems and recall how you would explode into laughter. How you would explode into glorious laughter every time I said, "I love you, Marion."
Oh.
And this is Marion's, of course, from this beautiful book. I don't really know the history of this book, but I have it, and a winter's worth. A song. I'll do a song before they come, before the shaman arrives. I'll do a song, a hot song, I'll sing of hard work, tell about hard work, scraping, scrubbing, slicing, serving, and the laughter that makes it all right. The laughter that makes it all right. I'll sing of looking into eyes of kindness, greed, intrigue, proud or weary courage, and the laughter that makes it all right. The laughter that makes it all right. I'll mention mold, laundry, dust, bills, and tickets. Cars that eat gas and break down, but we'll laugh and make it all right. Yes, we'll laugh and make it all right. We mix a broth, newspapers, telephones, pencils, prayer, books, paper, poetry, art, food, music, men. We like it steaming, friendship or politics, children, families, nations, maps, and language, singing, dancing, drumming. So, life's a madness, a fine broth. When we lose the recipe, we invent life anew. Time refines our hungers. Laughter cures our root. I'll do a song before they come, before the shaman arrives. I'll do a song, a hot song. Ezra.
From Samuel Beckett's Ill-Seen, Ill-Said. Such fiasco that folly takes a hand, such bits and scraps, seen no matter how and seen said as seen, dread of black, of white, of void, let her vanish, and the rest for good. And the sun, last rays, and the moon, and Venus, nothing left but black sky, white earth, or inversely, no more sky or earth, finished high and low, nothing but black and white, everywhere, no matter where, but black, void, nothing else, contemplate that, not another word, home at last, gently, gently. Samuel Beckett's Ill-Seen, Ill-Said is rife with mortality, and as some second thoughts about reading it, but it's for Marion, it's also because of Marion. Back in the days of the Ditto, Marion decided that we should read Ill-Seen, Ill-Said. So she contacted a bunch of people, some of you in this room. We got our assignments, and the feature was to read this short novel. Because partially it's this account in an old woman's life. I kind of wondered at first, is this Marion telling us something? But it was back at work that I didn't know, so it was quite an experience. And it's like saying a lot about Marion. It's, you went to readings, there was, I've heard the word generous or generosity used 4 or 5 times, like on the way here. But if she was reading, Wisława Szymborska, and excited about it, she'd read the poem. But getting everybody, it was a short open mic and this collective reading of Ill-Seen, Ill-Said. That was just a wonderful thing. And is rife with the presence of death as it is. The last words of the book are no happiness, and that's K-N-O-W, happiness. A quick Marion story. 12 years ago, so there's that poet populist thing, which is this one silly like, poetry's good for you, The Subjects Reading Series was invited by whoever to nominate someone. And we sort of, in good faith,